Okay. And then
Only one brave soul in here.
here's your clicker.
Yeah.
There should be people on YouTube.
Okay, well, the camera pick me up right here.
It's gonna be this camera, so maybe you should scoot just a little. Thank you. Let me know if you need anything.
Yep, that's Wolf. Yep, all right. Let's get back over here. All right, team, good morning. So today, session 11, follow up with leads. It's interesting, we talk a lot about lead generation, talk a lot about, going out and finding business. Excuse me. Here's the interesting thing. 90% of your business will come from follow. It's 90, I mean, it's a big number. A lot of agents are really surprised to hear that. And here's the interesting thing. We've got about 150 people here in the room today. No, I'm kidding. Weather's getting a few of us, it looks like. So here's a question, live question. Now it's funny, I'm saying live question. There's only one person in the room here with me. So I'm really going to direct it to her. So, what do you think is the one thing that real estate agents probably do with the least amount of consistency and struggle to get done? There you go, lead follow-up. Holy cow, there we are. So we're right here in the smack of it. And here's the thing, team. Today we're going to kind of dive in a little bit, but I think it's important to kind of look at where we've been. We're on step 10 of 20 steps with Ignite. It's a system, it's building. You guys have got a ton of information. You got a ton of stuff in that book. You've taken copious notes and everything like that. I want you to understand that your Ignite manual, it's not a workbook. It's not just a class book. It's a reference piece of material, right? So keep that thing handy. Should go on the shelf. You can pull it out from time to time and read over it. We're all the way down into lead follow-up. We've talked about what it means to get started, lead gen, lead follow-up. Keep every lead, step 10. Wait a minute, are we on step 10?
You're on 10.
Yeah, our slide deck is. We might have a slide deck here that's for step 11. Hey, Madison, I think we've got 11 up here. Hold on, team. Lead follow-up. Yeah, we're on keep every lead. No, it's okay. It's all right. Quite all right.
I lost track of the numbers.
We are blazing ahead. While he's getting that pulled up, here's what I'm going to tell you. The people that I know that in real estate, really, that sell that crap ton of real estate and build successful businesses, the people that get probably off to a fast start, the people that build businesses that last, actually the people that build a business and not a sales job are the people that do good follow-up. And it's interesting because it doesn't have to just be, and we'll talk about that today, it's not just following up on leads. That's a big part. It's also following up with your database, staying in touch with your database, making sure you are their go-to person if they need real estate help, or if they know someone else that needs real estate help. That happens with everything that happens after the fact. Here we go. Keep every lead. So every lead is a good lead, right? We talked about being the real estate expert. We're working on that lead gen. Now we're on lead follow-up. Guys, follow-up's the key. We talked about it. 90% of your business will come from lead follow-up. And it's interesting when we talk about the lead follow-up overview section right here, we keep every lead. That's what we're going to talk about today. In other words, there are no bad leads, right? There's no such thing as a bad lead. People on average buy a house every 6 to 7 years. And at the same time too, they're going to talk to a crap ton of people, right? During that 6 or 7 years that might be thinking about real estate. So, lead follow-up is going to be really, really important. And, the next 4 sessions of Ignite are going to drill down on that. Okay. So what is lead follow-up, right? That's what we're going to dive into today. We talk about following up with leads. Where are you at today, Renee? with 1,000 questions. What is lead follow-up? Live question for the room.
Check back in.
Yeah, just following up with somebody. Following up with somebody that you've talked to, right? Now, again, what's a lead? Let's go there first. When we talk about a lead, lead is just simply anyone that could be purchasing or selling a piece of real estate or just making a real estate decision. They could be renting a place, buying investment property, anywhere along those, anything involving real estate. It could be someone that is really ready to do that today, next month, next year, or 10 years from now. The reality is we have to make sure that we know all of those people, right? So when we talk about what a lead is, it could be anyone, right? And there's a couple different ways we do that. We have to have a system. Guys, lead gen, lead follow-up, building a business, it's all system. You systematize this, the stress goes away, right? Wondering what I'm supposed to do goes away, right? Lead follow-up, how do we lead follow-up? We're going to talk about that. Post-lead follow-up, I followed up, okay, now what? What happens then? Then we'll recap and then we'll talk about our daily success system as we do each day. But one of the things that we're going to talk about today that's really important is cementing that relationship. Post-lead follow-up, building a relationship, them seeing you as a trusted advisor, all those things are going to be super, super important, right? So everybody gets followed up with. Every lead goes in your database. I talk to real estate agents on a fairly frequent basis that have, well, this is what they say. They say, how many people you got in your database? And people raise their hand and they'll say 3,000. I'm like, wow, 3,000 people. Yeah, and then I'll get one over here. They'll be like, oh, I got about 1,700. And then somebody will say, I got about 6,000 people in my database. Now, here's the thing. You got to establish what a database is. Database is not a phone with contacts in it, right? It's just amassed over the years. It's people that you're in a relationship with. The reality is the average ROI on a database, return on investment for a database in our industry is 10%. That's average. So let's think about that. If I had 100 people in my database and I followed up with them and I stayed after them and I put them in there and I had, there was frequency, there was intensity, right? They knew me, they knew I was my real estate agent. At a 10% return, that'd be 10 sales. So let's think about that. That's 10 sales, okay, from just a database. And that's acting. The average real estate commissions probably worth somewhere around, I don't know, $6,000 or $7,000. Now we're 60 to 70 grand with 100 people that over time we follow up with, we take care of, and then we get a return on. I'm not counting open houses, I'm not counting door knocking or anything else like that. So it all begins with lead follow-up. It all begins with knowing and understanding that every single lead goes in our database, right? And that's kind of the mantra of today, right? Keep every lead. So if we're going to keep every lead, then we got to make sure we've got a little bit of a system, right? Got a little bit of a system to look at that. So what's the life of a lead? What's the likelihood of someone moving into a new home, right? What's that look like? Well, kind of got a like radio frequency here, but if you look at the bottom, right, the bottom of the graph's always time, right? On the left over here with the likelihood of a move. So 7 to 10 years, right? People move. Okay. So when we're here, what's the likelihood of them moving? Low, right? Very low. And as time goes on, right, they move. Now, they move and they buy their first house. Okay, awesome. So really, if they just bought their new house, the odds of them moving, right, probably going to happen, right? And then over time, right, 7 to 10 years, we know they're going to move again. All of a sudden, now we start catching them here, right? Start catching them on this move up train. Well, guys, here's the thing. We've all gotten a lead here or here, where there's a very high likelihood of moving. We've all gotten that lead. Our struggle, our challenge is we start to believe that's how this business is done, right? Because what I'm going to tell you is there are going to be people that you're going to stumble into that are going to be right there, ready to move, right? Come list my house. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to buy. They're walking into an open house. Actually, people going into an open house, they're about here. Nobody goes out and just drives around and looks at the houses. Less of that, right? So we got to think about it that way. Now, here's the thing. Okay, well, gosh, so that means I only got to capture these people. No, you got to capture them anywhere they are along here, right? And then you stay in touch with them. So when they get here, or actually here, and they start, so we're 5, 6, 7 years in. If you're staying in touch with them here, really all everywhere, but if you're staying in touch with them here, you're going to get that call. You're going to check in. They're going to say, we were thinking about moving. Why do people move? Well, they don't move because of interest rate. I'll tell you that. People move because things happen in their life. Okay. They happen in their life. They get married. They get divorced. They have more children. The children leave home. They go to school, right? Suddenly decide the stairs are too much. I want to live on one level. Might decide, oh my gosh, why do we need this giant house, right? Any one of a number of things are going to happen. Those are all life events. Well, here's the thing. If we're looking at the leads that we're getting as someone that we need to stay in touch with, someone that's valuable, even if we just sold a home, even if we know they're right there, and we stay in touch with them over time, what's going to happen is we're going to build a relationship. And when they are ready, when one of those life events does show up, right, they're going to give us a call. Hey, my parents are going into assisted living. Oh, can you help us sell their home? Right. So when you start to build these relationships with these leads, and you start to turn them into potential opportunities. Yeah, probable business, right? So you got a framework here. We got possible business, right? Okay, good. You got probable business, people they're in that right place, right? And that's ultimately going to lead you running a profitable business. Here's the thing, T. Leads from your database, leads from follow-up, leads that you cultivate. Your cost to convert extremely low. There's a lot of great lead aggregators out there. I don't have a problem with any of them. And I know agents buy leads. I get that. No agents buy, Zillow leads or, work with OpSig and things. There's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. What I'm going to tell you is if you're doing that, do a great job, learn follow-up, convert them, sell them, get paid, put that person in your database and keep track of it. Whatever play we're going to run to get now business, we can do it with our frameworks within our database. We can do it with proper follow-up and build that piece too. You've got to build it regardless. What you don't want to be is the real estate agent that doesn't have a systematized follow-up program. And you look up and you've been in the business 3 years, 4 years, and you're still chasing. You know what I mean? You're still chasing stuff, right? So keep that piece in mind. 2021 NAR, the little profile back here on home buyers and sellers, and actually that 2021 it hasn't changed much. So they did research, and basically what they did was, pardon me 1 second. They did the research, and 73% of the buyers talk to one agent. 73. They picked their agent, one, bump into one. So here's the thing. If 73% of the people out there are picking one, right? If 73% of the people are picking one of one, then we've got to look up and we've got to go, huh. So if I'm not consistently following up, if I'm not staying in touch, if I'm not relationship building, they're going to go bump into somebody at an open house and buy a house. If it hasn't happened to you, it will, right? Someone you've been actively showing homes to walks into an open house and buys that house. And so 82% of the sellers contacted one agent. So 82% of the time, one person. Now, I want you to understand, these aren't people that we've hunted down, right? When they're selecting an agent to use, 73% of the buyers talk to one agent. So they're initiated, right? 82% of the sellers only contacted one agent. So there's something's happening there, right? That they're reaching out to these people. I'm not talking about lead generation, we're talking about follow-up. If I'm in constant contact, excuse me, not constant contact, but if I'm in a contact-driven relationship with someone, I'm going to be the one to get that call, right? Otherwise, they're probably just going to bump into somebody, because here's the reality: you got to be first or second in their mind, right? You got to be first or second in mind. They've done that. There's a book written called "The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Marketing." I think that's right. And they talk about this. Talk about MREA too. If you aren't first or second in their mind, you probably won't get the business, right? If I ask the room the name a brand of potato chips, right? What would be your chips? Lay's. That'd be about everybody else in the room too. Then we could probably, or give me another one. Somebody might say Ruffles. Give me another one. Maybe go 3D. But do you think that if this room were packed full of people that we get 20 different kinds of chips? Nah, you're not. It's mind share, right? So what you've got to do, you've got to create that mind share in the minds of the people that you're working for, in the minds of the potential clients, the friends, the family members, that when they're at a cocktail party or a birthday party or a sporting event and someone says, "Oh, we're so excited, Johnny's moving back to Kentucky. He's going to live in Winchester. And he's met this wonderful gal. He's graduating from Vandy. We're so excited." And then guess what? The next thing out of their mouth is, or the next thing out of the person they're talking to's mouth is, "Oh my gosh, you should have him call Bo Smith. He's our real estate agent. He can help him find a house in Winchester." That's where you want to be. That's mind share, right? That's mind share. Okay. So the question becomes, okay, well, gee, how do I do that? How do I get there? I'm on social media. I'm doing all the stuff, right? I'm commenting. I'm linking up with folks and everything else like that. If you're going to build a relationship with someone in the context of being a great real estate agent, a great steward of your database, what do you think is the most powerful thing you can do, right? When it comes to relationships, what's not thing you can do? What's the best touch? The best touch for someone to actually create the best relationship. There you go, talking on the phone, right? It's just like, yeah. So I don't know I don't know how many of us are watching on screen here. Oh, looks like we got a couple. Yeah, I don't know if everybody went, "Oh my gosh, there it is again." Got to get on the phone. Now think about it this way: if your grandmother, right, was having a birthday, she'd probably appreciate that text, right? Maybe a cake emoji, but we know she'd really like that phone call. Right now, hold on. I'm not gonna hit you with the old, "Well, yeah, because grandma's old and she's got a rotary phone." No, let's go to I'll use my granddaughter, right? Callahan. What does she want? She wants to hear my voice. Right? My daughter will FaceTime me or something like that, and she's talking to Callie, and Callie's running around and everything, and I was like, "Hey, Callie." And she stops. She goes, "Oh," and she runs to the phone, right? Same thing with our other grandkids. Same thing with my kids. Same thing with anybody else out there. So I'm not telling you to just get up every day and become a telemarketer. That's not what we're talking about. But we are talking about building a great relationship. So I think that means to me that we've got to carve out some time. We've got to carve out some time and we've got to use a system to ensure that they're hearing our voice, right? That I'm able to connect with them. And it's tough. This used to be, I'm going to tell you, this used to be easier before social media. Now, here's why. Social media is a powerful tool, works awesome. A lot of agents monetize it. A huge number of agents don't. We convince ourselves that because Facebook is so big, it is so prevalent because we spend that much time there. We convince ourselves that that's enough. And I'm really developing some great relationships there. And I'm not saying you can't. I'm not saying it's not a part of the plan. What I am going to tell you is to really deepen and strengthen those relationships. A phone call once a quarter. Let's make sure we get that caveat in there. Once every 3 months, you're going to reach out and you're going to have a conversation with the people in your database. Now, when I say your database, let's go ahead and let's boil that down a little bit. Let's say sphere of influence. You're gonna have probably, yeah, I don't know, like 2,000 people in your book database. But your sphere of influence is like your gated community. And you're gonna probably have about, I'll tell you what, if you can get to about 200, right? 200 people that are advocates for you and your business. They're advocates for you as a person, your heart, right? Your knowledge. If you can get about 200 people there and you cultivate that list. And here's the thing, over time, what happens? Out of those 200, you got quite a few of them are clients, right? Believe it or not, you might have some clients that aren't in your sphere of influence, right? They just kind of bought and sold and disappeared, okay? You send them stuff, you keep in touch with them, and yet they may or may not show up as someone in your sphere. So I bring that up because the call holds everything else together. We're going to dive in today on what it means to connect, right? And then what it means to lock someone in long term, right? Because we actually do 2 different programs, one to connect and then one to basically keep them in our world. So anyways, so ahas. Renee, what do you got for us? Any big takeaways here that you've written down?
Yes, that 73% of buyers talk to one agent and 82% of sellers.
Yeah,
That's a big number.
that's a big one. Right. One. So here's the interesting thing. You're not competing against 100. Well, if I'm competing to be the one they call, I'm thinking in my mind, they're going to call me because we've probably already talked on the phone. They're going to call me because they have my phone number. They're going to call me because they think I can bring value. But the most important reason they're going to call me is because they think of me. That's all. They think of me. Good morning. Come in.
Apologize, I've been over an hour trying to get here from Nicholasville.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
It-
Yeah.
I apologize.
It's quite all right. We're just getting rolling here. So if you think about it, that's going to be our opportunity, right? That's going to be our opportunity. So let's dive in real quick. Let's get a quick overview of what we're going to talk about today. So today we're going to talk about how to lead follow up. What's that mean? What's that look like? Right? We keep every lead. How do we follow up with leads? Right? The fortunes in the follow up, we've heard that. Mind share, we've talked about that, right? We want to be the one that they think about. We just mentioned the fact that they're only going to know 2, right? Maybe 3. But here's the thing: if you're not 1 or 2, you might as well be number 500, right? We want to be number 2. So we have 2 things to do here, right? We have 2 things, and this is we're gonna give a little Brand. You guys have this in your book. It's actually if you fortunes in the follow up mind share page. So there's 2 systems, right? You guys have been introduced to these systems. I'm going to tell you to embrace these systems. Embrace the systems. Guys, real estate's a system. Real estate is a system because it's about follow up. we talk about lead generation, and you can generate a lot of leads, you can get leads, all those things are gonna happen, but first thing we've got to do with someone is we've got to connect with them, right? Now, that means I've got a lead from someone, somewhere, and I'm in the what? I'm in the relationship business, right? So I'm trying to build a relationship. Okay, that looks good, that sounds good. Like to be the one that helps them if they need something. Could be somebody gave me, could be somebody I bumped into an open house, that all I got's a name and a phone number. Came to the open house, name, address, phone number, they filled out the card, well, we're just looking, thank you so much, you're super nice, and they leave. So what does that look like? Well, the first thing we've got to do is we've got to connect, right? We've got to connect. We've got to establish two-way communication, right? We've got to establish some sort of two-way conversation, right? And then there's something where we cement that, right? We get that done, and I'll go over that in a second. And then we turn around and we cement that relationship. High value touch solidifies the relationship, right? It starts to open up the conversation for future opportunities. Now, we've connected, we kind of locked them in with that one high value touch, now 36 to convert. This is where people go long term. So long term, I've got names, phone numbers, emails, home addresses. It goes here. Now, guys, we've got 36 to convert, and actually what we're converting them to is either someone that's going to buy or sell a piece of real estate, maybe buy an investment property perhaps, or it could be someone that actually gives you a high value lead that's on that top of the frequency thing there, right? That's getting ready to buy. So keep this in mind. So 36 4 touches telephone call, right? You're going to call them once a quarter. It's just critical. Oh my gosh, Bo, what do? Well, just call them up and tell them you need a check. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. And what am I going to do on those phone calls? What am I going to talk about? Right? How am I going to keep track of all that? Well, here's the thing. This one holds everything else together. This is the 36 touch. That means in 1 year I will touch them 36 times. All right. There's 72 touch programs. There's 98 touch. There's somebody running a 51.5 touch. I don't know. Everybody's got their own. And there's lots of things that you guys can do. Now, here's what I'm going to tell you is we're going to run off 36 because most of the time when we're teaching Ignite, we're working from a place where folks have got they're on a 2 touch, right? We're just starting out, right? Okay. So 34 touches, telephone calls. Okay. 4 touches, telephone calls. That is once a quarter, you're going to call them. Okay. Now, write this down. D, capital D, as in David, capital T, another capital D, and then the number 2. DT, D2. DT, D2 stands for do the database to. You have a smart plan that lives in command. It is the #1 smart plan in the entire command smart plan library. You can go to the marketplace and you can see how many tens of thousands of downloads it is. It's 26 touches because it goes out bi-weekly. Here's what this looks like. Build out your profile in command, which again, need help, let's get you help. And if you haven't done it, your profile in command. That way everything that goes out of command, got your name, address, phone number, your picture, your brokerage name, it's compliant, and it'll just anything you send, it'll stick that on there, right? Branded to you. So I've got 4, I'm going to make 4 phone calls, my DTD2 system. So if I've got someone, the Smiths and the Petersons, that's S&P. The DTD2 system basically takes the letters of the alphabet, okay, and puts them into 2-letter groups, right? The reason it puts them into 2-letter groups is based on the frequency of the last name. So we don't put the S's in with the A's because there's lots of A's and lots of S's. So what our goal is there is if we've got the Joneses go into the DTD2 group that has the J in it. It's 2 letters. It's 2 letters because there are 26 letters in the alphabet. Excuse me, 26 letters in the alphabet. If we call 2 letters every week, we'll get through the list. We'll get through the entire alphabet in 13 weeks, right? So that's 13 weeks. 13 times 4, 52. So there's your 52 weeks of the year. So what you're going to do is you're going to come in, you open up your command, And if you have these people on a smart plan, it'll literally tell you, which ones to call. You know the letters of the week, that's who you call. If you tag them in the database to their specific 2-letter group, the week you're supposed to call them, they will all come up, you will call them all, right? You'll do a quick check-in. What's that, gosh, Bo, what's that look like? What do I talk about, right? Well, here's the thing. Depending on the amount of information you have in your database, you can probably find something to talk about, right? Right now, what could you talk about? Weather. That's it. Absolutely impacting everybody's world right now, you know. My database calls this week would probably be something around, hey Margaret, it's Bo. How are you doing? Oh, Bo, hey, we're doing pretty good. How are you? I'm doing fantastic. Are you guys doing okay with all this snow and everything else like that? Oh my gosh, it's terrible. I've never seen anything like it. Oh my gosh, blah, blah, blah. And we're gonna talk about the snow. Well, you know, they've got kids. I'm gonna talk about the kids, maybe not going to school, maybe to work and everything like that. We're gonna talk about the weather. Right now, Postman and Lexington talk about the weather. They've probably got a lot to say about how these roads look, right? But I'm gonna have that conversation. I'm probably gonna also call and have that conversation, depending on the time of the year, when school starts. If it's people that have children, when school lets out, if they have children, specific holidays, change in seasons. I can always just check in, see how they're doing. There's nothing as powerful as a care call. Not calling and saying, well, this is, just calling to make sure you know anybody who wanted to buy, sell, or invest in real estate. You do, I'd love to help. That's not what it's about, right? You gotta understand, when we're touching these people with these telephone calls, it's holding. Remember, 36 touches. You're doing 4 with a live phone call once a quarter. That takes the other 32 touches and makes them better. They will open your newsletter. They will read your email. They will look at your post on Facebook. They will read your direct message. Everything gets better if we will simply commit to a program that's going to allow us to call them 4 times a year and they hear our voice. It's not old school. It's not new school. It's just the way things go, right? You guys have people in your life you talk to a lot, right? And you probably also text them. But do you also talk to them a lot, text them a lot, and do direct messages on Facebook? I don't know. I feel like the ones I talk to a lot, I'm probably going to call on their birthday. Probably not going to be technology. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm not saying one is better than the other or anything else like that.
Those notifications we get every day on Facebook that it's someone's birthday, and instead of saying happy birthday, turning that into a phone call.
Excellent.
Let me tell you something. You have inside of command, there is a birthday smart plan. Now here's the thing I want you to remember about smart plans. Smart plan is not just like emailing stuff to your clients. It can do that. It will do that. I'm going to show you one of the tools that it has to do that. But also remember, the command is also built to have a smart plan to tell you what to do. So what if my goal was to call everyone 10 days before their birthday? I think I gave you all this from maybe last month. 10 days before the birthday and tell them happy birthday. And when they go, oh, it's not my birthday yet, say, I know, I just want to be first.
But if you don't have a birthday too, you can get it off of Facebook and add it to.
You can put it in there, absolutely.
That's
Yeah. So think about that. If the birthday was another time that you wanted to just, and here's the thing, maybe you don't call them, but you know what? The text, the direct text is a little stronger than the cake emoji on Facebook. Come on now, you're right. I see these people and I'm not making fun of anybody, but I am. They get on there and they go, oh my gosh, the outpouring of love and support brought tears to my eyes today. As everyone celebrated my birthday, and I just can't let you people, and I'm going, dude, you got 152 cake emojis and you're crying. What are you talking about? Right? But you know what? Here's the thing. I'm calling all 6 of my kids.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And probably getting nothing from about 5 of them. But the text message, what do you need that? Happy birthday. But you know what, right? There's things to do. So you guys know that. There are people. So the 4 touches, the telephone calls, could be real simple. It could be just it could be, one of them could be a real estate call going into spring market. Could be anything. You've got to make the call. Get away from the fear of calling the people that you know. And get away from the fear of, I don't want them to think I just want something. Yeah, that feels cheap, though. Just call them up and be salesy. Well, then don't be salesy. Well, I don't want them to think I want something. Well, then don't ask for anything. I mean, you know what I mean? How about we ask questions about them? And how are you doing? So there's a lot of stuff going on out there in the world, right? Be one of those people in their world, right? That's ready to help and support with something that's extremely important, the roof over their head. This is what we did, right? Dave Ramsey, 4 walls, it's right there. Boom. House, gotta have a house or an apartment. We can help them rent an apartment. We can help them rent a house. What a condo. We do all of that, right? So keep those things in mind. 26 touches, bi-weekly email, neighborhood nurture. That's your 26 touch. It's basically going to be a hyper-local real estate update for the neighborhood they live in. You get a contact card, you fill it out with all their information, you click neighborhood nurture, right? And it'll start sending it. Now, if there's somewhere a little rural, you might have to do a couple extra steps, like set up like a little radius around them, maybe, okay? But if you've got somebody who lives in Autumn Ridge, literally Autumn Ridge will come up. They will get information. They don't care what's happening down in Chevy Chase if they live in over Autumn Ridge. They don't care what's happening in Winchester. They don't care about real estate in the United States. They want to know how much that house sold for that's about 6 doors down. That's what they want to know. That smart plan, neighborhood nurture, that AI is built in. Once you have that address for your client locked in and you put them on that smart plan, they get twice a month, 26 times a year, they get an offering that basically tells them the price per square foot, what's selling, what's listed, all the stuff. Super cool. Take a look, take a peek at one. And here's what they'll do. Phone will go off and they'll go like, oh yeah, there's Bo. Gone. See how fast I was gone? But you know what? There's Bo, my real estate agent. Goodbye. But sometimes they'll go, what's going on in the neighborhood? But you see what that's, oh, wait a minute. I can tell you right now, that house sold for $487. Yeah, average price here in the neighborhood's like, houses are selling for $285 a square foot. How big's our house? 3,000. What is that? How do you do that math? It's a real estate conversation. What you're doing is you're letting them know that you're their real estate person without getting on the phone and going, do you need anybody who needs to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? Now, I will recommend this. Every call, even the care call, when you end that call, well, you know what? Thank you so much. I'm glad you guys are in good shape and sounds like you're safe and warm. I appreciate that. It's great talking to you. And hey, if you have any friends this year that have got real estate plans, I'd love to help. That's it. That's the ask. If you have any friends or family that have real estate plans, I'd love to help them. I would love to help them. Now, isn't that easier to say when you just had a conversation and you just helped them? Maybe you got them someone to shovel their driveway. Maybe their furnace is on the fritz and you went to your furnace go-to guys. Maybe you kind of bumped up to the top of the list because they called somebody out of the phone book and they told them they'd be out in 2 weeks. Or we'll see you in the spring. I don't know. Here's the thing. You'll probably find yourself in the middle of some opportunities to do some things and show up and be fantastic, which is what you guys do, right? So keep that piece in mind. But the fortune is in the follow-up. So we're going to connect with them, right? Promotional direct mail, things like that. One touch, this is basically, we're just working, right? Invite them to an annual event, movie screening, what maybe one of the things like we do the reverse bold 100s. But we're trying to connect with them, right? We're trying to connect with them and get that permission. Then we're going to send them something or let them know something that happens. Maybe it's a consultation, but that one high value touch, what does that look like? We're sort of like, man, these guys are a potential client, or they might be a client, right? Because here's the thing, you guys have clients right now that you sold real estate to, we all do, and we don't have them anywhere. Right? I mean, we believe when we had that closing and they thanked us and there were tears in their eyes, we held the baby and all those things like that, and they said, my gosh, you're awesome, but we just love you and thank you so much. You did so much, and everything else like that. And I walk out of that closing going, if they ever need anything, go call me. No, they won't. Because we just did the math, right? What is it? 70-something% talk to one person. Well, they didn't say 70% of them go back to the same agent. We orphan people every day. We sell real estate, we get paid, and we never talk to them. I'll tell you another one over here. Home anniversary. Once you start selling, you know what I mean? See if you will, hey, 1 year anniversary. There's a bunch of thank you cards that can be pushed through out there, right? Every time you have a conversation. But start now. Don't wait until you get no, don't wait until like, man, well, once I get to this many clients, then I'll get my system. Now you build your system. You build a big system when your business is small. Or you build a big system when you don't have a system, right? Fortune's in the follow-up, we're creating mind share, right? We want to be the people that they think about. Because remember, sometimes those leads are going to be, let me go back here. Sometimes you get a lead when they're there. So guess what? What's that look like? If I meet somebody that's here, I'm talking to them every day. I'm getting them into an appointment, a consultation, right? I need to. Now, if I'm getting them over here, then it's going to be, how do I lock them in to stay in touch with them? So I get them back here, right? Because you might get somebody here, but the really great real estate agent, they lock them in here. And before they ever get to this place where they think about that, they've already had conversation. There's a relationship there. It's a foregone conclusion. You use a different CPA every single year?
No, but speaking of the real estate agent, I bought a house.
Okay.
She orphaned me at the end of it.
Yeah.
I can't tell you her name for the life of me. But I have a realtor who has been in touch with me since he went into the business.
Okay.
He sent pictures every Christmas of his family as they grow, adding children. His name's Philip Woods.
Okay.
I remember that perfectly because I've regularly gotten mail from Philip.
Yeah.
And know that he's out there. But I got orphaned right off the bat
Yeah.
when I bought the house.
And you know, that sounds harsh when we say orphan, right? And I think a lot of it is because real estate agents generally do a poor job with follow-up. They believe that because that closing went really well, that those folks will remember them. They believe that their presence on Facebook will be enough. They believe that those super cool be. Here's the thing, all this stuff on Facebook, it's fantastic, do it. It integrates into your daily life so easy. And if I'll tell you how you know you're doing it right, when it's effortless. When it's seamless, right? When it doesn't, like me, require 3 hours to set up, do a 5-minute video, right? But yeah, so here's the thing, remember, it doesn't matter where they are. We've got them on program, right? And the goal would be to, when someone says, well, we're probably thinking about buying a house in a couple of years, Bo. Great. That's exactly why we need to meet. And I'm going to be right in front of them, right? Your lead follow-up program, right? Best practices. What are my strengths when working with people? How can I adapt the touches of 19 to connect to represent me? I think that's really important. And I want to point that out. Here's why. Guys, we're giving you a framework. Is it going to look the same for everybody? Probably not. You people you're working with, right? What are some reasons I might be contacting the lead? What are some touches to do before and after the phone call? There's a question for you. So I talked to someone, have a great little chat on the phone. What's another way to touch them after the call?
I'd say it's great talking.
Yeah. People are like, what? Oh, does that mean I also have to write a thank you note to the people to send me a thank you note and thank them for their note? Right? You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's a part of it there. And yet what I'm going to tell you is time block each day. If I'm having a lot of conversations and man, I feel like I'm writing a lot of notes. Okay. Here's the thing. Go ahead and time block for it, write them off, and then send them off. Do them once a week. Yeah.
So if you have 2 hours of lead gen.
Yeah.
This is gonna be follow-up that's added on top of that.
Correct. Yeah. Lead gen is we generate leads, follow up is we follow up with leads.
So how long is it?
I think it's going to depend on what you some of your follow-up, if you remember, is going to be automated, right? Some of your followers gonna be automated. Staying in touch, building relationships. Now, if I'm following up with, you know, people that are in process, right? With getting them in position for a train, you know, that might be every single day. But if I'm just doing my follow-up as far as like making my, my calls and reaching out to everybody as far as that goes, I would think that's probably another hour. It's as much as it takes to follow the system that you've created.
You may have covered this already.
Yeah,
How often do you call to establish contact,
for
to keep contact?
like for someone that you're just staying in touch with through the years,
Yeah.
once a quarter.
Once a quarter, okay.
Now remember, that's once a quarter, right? And that's these are high value relationships.
But you can call more often.
Oh, gosh, yes. You call on their birthday, you
Yeah.
can call on their, any one of their other things, you know, I got some friends in Indiana, that I called when Indiana won the national championship, right? You know, you're gonna have in your normal walk of life, there's gonna be a lot of interactions, right? What I'm telling you about these four quarterly calls is, team, here's what's gonna happen. That's the glue that holds it all together. Right? I know we're gonna have other conversations. I know we're gonna do all kinds of, but we've gotta have one call per quarter where we're reaching out to them. We're calling for and here's what I'll say. Hey, I was just sitting here at the office working on real estate stuff. And I thought about you and that steep driveway with all the snow. How are you doing? Right? Or I thought about the fact that you live over there in Stonewall. I mean, is anybody left the neighborhood? Because they haven't touched the streets, right? I mean,
Right.
it's pretty much saying, right? You know, man, now I'm starting to think, wish I lived in Nicholasville where you do, because I've seen on the news, their stuff is clean and Sydney, and somebody was telling me Winchester. I don't even talk about some of the outlying cities or.
Wasn't
Oh, right, not there. And somebody told me yesterday that like, our streets are clean, they're down to like the alleyways and all that kind of stuff. So they're, you know, again, calling to remind them that I am a person in their life. If I'm sending, let's go back. If I'm sending email 26 touches, right? If I'm inviting them to events, they don't have to come. But I can invite them, right? Promotional direct mail, magnet calendar, market report, whatever, okay? Anything like that. I'm snail mailing, right? I'm inviting them to stuff. Bi-weekly email information, newsletters, whatever.
On 2 touches,
Uh-huh.
events, get-togethers, parties.
Mhm.
Do we do it verbally over the phone? Do we send them?
Oh, you're probably gonna send them an invitation. You're probably gonna post something. We just did something where we like, you put a video together to talk to everybody. Hey, we're having a Valentine's Day giveaway, right? So you're gonna do some things there. But again, some people run their entire business off of events. It's all they do. They give away like Pelotons. These are big teams. Pelotons, season tickets to the Bengals, Skybox.
Teams.
What's that?
I need to know someone in those.
Yeah,
teams.
well, it's just, so that's kind of what that'll start to look like, but these touches, right? You put these things together to make sure you're just kind of staying in touch with them, so that when a real estate conversation happens, either directly in or maybe ancillary, that they're reaching out to you, right? Design your 19 to connect touch plan. So here's the thing, team, maybe it's not 19 for you. Maybe right now it's a 4 or 5 or a 6, right? You're 19 to connect, you've got people that are leads that you have name and phone numbers of that have never talked to you, that have never engaged. So our first step with them is to what? Connect. Just connect. Get permission to start a 2-way dialogue. Will they all say yes? No. And yet some of them will. So, so you see, you're gonna call and text, right? Quarterly, offer something of value, ask for, hey, just checking in. I really enjoyed meeting you at the Christmas tailgate there. If if anybody needs any help with real estate, blah, blah, blah. Right? Because they won't answer the call. Maybe that's just a text, right? So something, but it's quarterly, right? You're gonna work that, offer something of value. Hey, I'm having a get together. We're doing a party, we're doing this, I'm having a meet Santa thing. You can invite them to all kinds of that stuff, right? Because again, we're trying to set up a connection, right? promotional direct mail. This is where people send out like 600 schedules for the University of Kentucky. And some of the people they send them to, they come back and they're no longer that address. Because these are closed, right? That's okay, though. There's a place for it. 12 email newsletter market reports, could be a birthday card. That's easy. If you got a birthday, right? That should be somebody that you're really cultivating there. Market reports, informative videos. You can set them up with, that's that neighborhood nurture, right? You send them that kind of stuff. Videos, watch emails, neighborhood newsletter, just different things like that. A neighborhood part. There's all, we're just basically wanting to get onto their radar, right? The 19 to connect plan. What's that look like? For you, it might not be 19, it might be 4 or 5. For some of us, most real estate agents, it's like something. Please do something because we don't call. People, NAR runs studies every year, they go. So they call real estate agents and leave voicemails. And it's like 55% of the agents don't even call them back.
Right.
Don't even call back the voicemail. So it's like, so when I go here, if it looks a little overwhelming, well, understand, we're working from a place if someone left you a voicemail and you didn't call them back, right? Not you all, but in general as a thing. So put something together. If 36 touch is terrifying, fine. Be a 24 touch, be a 19 touch, right? But at the core of it, you put those things together, okay? Team, your value proposition is key. It's not about telling and selling, right? Personal communication. Okay, pictures, smiley, things like that. I know we do a lot of this, handwritten notes, birthday cards, whatever that may be. Maybe you celebrate your children's birthday, right? If someone has kids, I get those birthday dates too. I celebrate them, right? All kinds of little things that you could do there. And it's the stats and data and stuff like that. Communication. All right, so lead follow-up, communication. What is it? What could that be? Well, call in, community event, open house, social media marketing, traditional marketing, your agent website. There's all kinds of lead sources, right? Past clients, purchase leads, client referrals, sign it. We could put a list of about 300 different ways to find customers. Calls out, right? What's that? Why are you thinking about buying or selling? Tell me more. What will you do? What will that do for you and your family? I'm not a big why person. Don't use the word why. I think it sometimes is could potentially create a defensive conversation if you think about children. Why, right? So it's probably going to be, so I'm curious. What's got you thinking about maybe selling your home and buying another one? Notice it's a question, right? And they say, well, we're just, families, Bo, our youngest is be going away to college next year and starting to think about the size of the home, the size of the yard. I'd rather golf than mow grass and blah, blah, blah. Okay, so tell me a little bit more about what that looks like. Well, maybe thinking about something smaller, maybe, I don't know, we're just really, it's not sure, right? It's big change, we're gonna be empty nesters and everything else like that. Okay. So I'm gonna probably want to get an appointment there. I'm probably gonna push for an appointment, right? When they do tell you, well, we have a smaller house, less upkeep. And what that's gonna do for you and your family, what's it gonna do for you and your wife, or you and your partner, spouse, what's that gonna do for you? Well, it's gonna give me more time to, travel, less wear and tear. I got that knee replacement. I mean, we're just talking to them, right? We're just talking to them. But those calls they can be care calls and things like that, right? Okay, so thoughts, ahas, takeaways. What are you hearing right now?
And the people on, are we on Zoom? What are we on? Wait a minute, hold on a minute here. Let's see, let's check the participants.
Thoughts, takeaways, anything?
What'd you write down? What'd you write down that everybody in the room should know?
It was difficult, but it doesn't sound so difficult after you break it down.
Yes.
Decide what your touch plan is going to be. And put one in place. Start with those 4 quarterly phone calls. And in order to start with those, first thing we have to do probably for most of us is make sure all of our important people are in our database. Name, address, phone number, email, number, right? Last time I was in here, with you guys, I gave you that dialogue, right, the Mets database for every single person, because you gotta remember, if you look up here. One of the things that's exciting is that no matter what we thought about keeping up with our database, we're looking for 4 calls a year. Oh. Just 4, like, yeah, each person calling 4 times a year, and that's the linchpin that holds it all together. Well, that sounds good. Yeah, now, here's the reality is, all that other stuff, in order to pull that off at a high level, you gotta put their information into your CRM, which is Connect. You gotta get in. How do you do that? Every day, you time block an hour, right, somewhere in your day, for 30 minutes or 45, and you have a goal during that time period. You're gonna set everything to the side, and you're going to put 5 people into your database. Name, address, phone number, and email. Right? You're gonna put in everything that you have, everything that you can gather, right? Get it all in there, and whatever you're missing, you're gonna make a notation, right? And you know, because it's on your spreadsheet, and then you're gonna call them at some point, right? You're gonna get that last piece of information, which might be. And I'm trying to think of something that you go to PBA and get their home address. You can get, got the phone number probably. I need a good email. What I'm gonna tell you is, even if you can go to the PBA and get it, I'd call them and get it. Why? It's not doing call. Hey, just check it out. Update my database. Girl, I realize I can drive to your house, but I couldn't mail you anything, right? So just think about that, right? Think about that, keep those things close. But I bring that up because the one thing most real estate agents don't give enough time to is building and structuring their database. If you want all that other stuff, right? If you want all that other stuff to run, oh, wait a minute. If you want that other stuff. Okay, hold on. Oh, right. All right, lead follow-up, how to lead follow-up, post lead follow-up. This diagram comes out of MREA, and it's in your book, right? I don't know which page it's on. Did you guys find it? Yeah. So two-way communication, you have to establish it. That's our connect piece, right? Let's see. It should be. Look, it's in your book.
It is.
It is? Okay, all right. Yeah.
Should probably find it for me.
Yes, 555.
So we talk about this. We talk about this a lot. The diagram kind of helps us see. So prospecting and marketing, right? The 2 foundations for your growth in your business, right? Prospecting is direct, active right? It's active. If I'm prospecting, it means I'm making phone calls, I'm knocking on doors, I'm going to parties, I'm holding classes, whatever it may be. It's an active thing that I am in complete control. Nothing can keep you from prospecting every single day, right? It's active. The other piece is marketing. That would be, you could send stuff in the mail. You could have a billboard, you could do flyers, you could run internet lead ads and all kinds of things like that. It's a little bit more passive, right? Now, here's the interesting thing. Marketing costs money. Prospecting does not. Prospecting every single day is active to find now business, and then our follow-up becomes a portion of, right, cultivating that as well. The marketing piece is a little bit more passive, nothing wrong with it, but when we're in the beginning, sometimes it's like, well, we don't really need to be spending money. I'm gonna tell you right now, you don't really need to spend money on anything until you've talked to every single human that you know, and either working to connect with them or working to put them into your database, setting them up on a smart plan. Every single person that you know, if you'll do that, get them all in your database, you will be rock solid with where you need to be to move forward, and you'll run into some business along the way, right? So they're going either from 19 to connect to 36 to convert, right? Lead becomes a contact, right? The difference between a lead and a contact is a lead is someone that's basically, needs help at some point in time. We're not really sure. A contact is we have a contact, we have information now to stay in touch with them. So they become a contact in my database, right? And then cement the relationships. Let's look at this. The diagram helps us here. So we start off lead capture. Either our prospecting, we called some folks or talked to some people, or we did some sort of a marketing thing and someone called in. First thing, they go in your database. Everyone goes in the database because everyone deserves some sort of a follow-up plan. Even that person that you're probably only going to call once every quarter, or the person that you're going to just send stuff to twice a year. I don't know. They go somewhere, right? It's because we've got to start to build a relationship with them. You might not ever talk to them, but you consistently send them information on the market, data, my newsletter, right? They follow you on Facebook, and who knows, when the time comes, they go, hey, bud, right? So leads, we form relationship contacts, we strengthen the existing relationships. We have more information. Now we're moving them into more of a conversion type of scenario where we're going to convert them into one, letting us represent them to buy or sell, or they're going to give us a name and contact information of someone that wants to buy or sell. You see, it's twofold, right? So they go into our database. If they're leads, we start to form relationships because we want to basically turn them into contacts. And then third piece, cultivate the contacts for conversion, right? Now, here's the conversion. The conversion is to get them to buy or sell real estate. Yes. And yet sometimes right there, if it's interactive and it's need-based, your conversion is to get an appointment, to sit down with them, to do a needs analysis, right? To talk to these folks, right? And then the client referral lead, basically, you get the new business, repeat business, right? They feed you referrals, and then it all goes right back up to the top, and they go back into contacts, right? It starts off lead generation, then we manage what the relationship is, and then we create that client referral loop. What's the loop? The loop is they buy again, right? Or they send you referrals, right? Guys, I'm telling you, getting to that place where you've got about, I think it's numbers 212 people in your database. You'll make, you're somewhere around about $150,000 a year net. 200. Peter Chabris runs a team that does about 9 million commission a year. His database has 185 people. Now, his team database, thousands, and that's what they work. But his personal database, his sphere, is about 180 people. And over the years, you'll have like some people went in there for default. Well, I'm putting you in my database, Mom, because I got to have somebody in there, right? And then that'll turn into someone that's bought 2 houses from me. They were a buy client and a sell client, and they refer you business. My sister doesn't refer me any business. Never have, right? And yet, people that I've sold real estate to or worked with in real estate, they always call me, right? So That's the piece of it there, right? That's the piece of it there. One to cement, guys, that you'll have to decide what this looks like, right? A high value touch solidifies the relationship that you established and starts to basically put you in a position to stay in touch with. I know people that send something cool in the mail. There's set up a calendar with their client events that and make a big deal out of it and say, hey, you're now in my, in my group, you're in my sphere, you're in my gated community. What does that look like? I'm gonna be honest with you, for some agents, they get up the street to call them, have a great conversation, right? Maybe it's a market analysis on their home. But something that's going to set you apart and open the door for you to move forward. So yeah, okay. All right, good deal. So you start to have a two-way conversation, right? And you've got folks somewhere where they're getting consistent touches. Let me ask you guys a question. And again, just a little, there's no right or wrong answer here as far as that goes. What is our current system that we're using to let people know we're in the business? Anybody have anything that they're using that's systematized that?
Like how we would know we talked to some folks and didn't talk to some, did talk to others.
What's that? Your door knocking. Okay. All right. Tell us a little bit about that.
So
Now, hold on. Where are you door knocking?
my farm,
Okay.
that's I have two, one by my house, that's a lower price point, and one that's at my sister's, that's a higher price point.
Okay, nice.
So
Yeah.
I'm touching every door once a month with a flyer. And then I talk to them, and any information I get, as soon as I walk away, and then I put it in my database, and I send them a follow-up card to every person I spoke to in person.
Okay.
And then my goal is to hit every house once a month.
Okay.
And then I've been targeting people within there that I think will be people that will buy.
Yeah.
And I'm doing 50 first dates.
Yeah.
So once a
Love
week,
that.
I do what I guess would be a season.
Yeah. Yeah. Fantastic. How's it going?
I'm quicker than I thought it would. Like, I didn't think I would get any response for at least 6 months. And I haven't done anything officially, but people are reaching out and in ways that I didn't think they would, because they value face to face, and they say people aren't doing it.
Yeah. You're not gonna be you're not gonna get into any kind of a awkward situation where you're walking up to the house and another agent's already leaving, right? That's no one out there, right? I mean, so I love that. So now here's a piece. Let's talk about the farm. The farm. I farmed the neighborhood that I lived in, right? And it was a new construction neighborhood, right? So it was just, I was always talking to people and always talking about who you know and who else you know that would like to live in here, the people in the house for. But I love that. I love that piece. So one of the things that you can do that as an ongoing, the neighborhood nurture. But once you talk to these folks, there's an exchange there. You have contact information. One of the things that I do, Mrs. Homeowner, for all my people here in Autumn Ridge, is actually have a custom market analysis just for your neighborhood. Really? Send it out twice a month. What's selling? What's it selling for? Price per square foot, right? Just a little, just like some, make it very exclusive, just the people here in Auburn. Put you on that, because I think you'd really enjoy that information. What's the best email for them? And then you're sending it, now it's going on. Oh, yeah, well, that's for that. Yeah. See, it's like 4 feet snow on the ground. Should have seen her, Tim, she like goggles on, roll up on the front porch. you know? Oh, I know, yeah, you know, I mean, she's hustling, yeah, and then when the spring comes and, you know, we'll keep an eye on that neighborhood, and any one of our agents in this office gets a listing in any of those neighborhoods, right? You hold that open house, right, either because you just call up the agent, say, hey, that's my neighborhood, that's, I live there, can I hold an open house there, right? Open house opportunities, obviously, as when the spring comes, be a great source. Get in the habit of tracking all the new listings for this office. We teach open house classes too. Here's the one, when they go in the spring comes, people start dropping them on the market for open houses. You want to be the one they call for the open house. Listing agents don't really love it to do. Why? But you can get those open house opportunities, and the beauty of that is, if you take good care of that open house, if you do a great job, if you promote it accordingly, you can get buyer leads from it, right? That's the reason to do it. Might sell the house, but odds are you're gonna get some leads to follow up with, which takes us right back to here. Right? No one's out looking at houses, I don't care what the weather's like, and just killing time. It's not that, right? Now, you'll get the nosy neighbors, which, again, if I'm farming, well, oh my God, so 13 years you've lived in here, oh my goodness, right? Well, I bet a lot's changed in the neighborhood in the last 13 years, we get ready, whatever, and then say, well, that's fantastic, you know? One of the things I do with folks that live here in Alton Ridge is send them out a market report on just, you know, but I'm getting the contact info and I'm putting her on that, and I'm gonna start setting it, right? So lots of things which you can do there, but you know, start to put those things together. Team, you don't need to be the go-to agent for the entire state of Kentucky. Yeah, you need to first be the go-to agent in the neighborhood you live in, big one. And then other neighborhoods that you have ties to, neighborhood sisters. That's how we, and then we lock in on this area. Now, it doesn't mean I don't pursue business in other areas, right? But I watched a gal by the name of Sue Gill. She owned Andover. She was there the day they put the first shovel in the ground at Andover Forest, and that was a good average price. I think average price is, I think the lowest it ever was probably like 500, right? Then it turned into Autumn Ridge, and Andover Forest, Andover Green, Andover Hills. I mean, she got them all when they were building, right? You couldn't drive through the neighborhood without seeing 7 or 8 of her signs. So guess what? When it was time to sell, you called Sue. She also did a neighborhood directory. There's a book like that manual you've got right there, spiral bound with all the names, addresses, phone numbers, and kind of dog you had, how many kids you had. It was for the neighbor. She put it together for the entire neighborhood on her dime. Now, Sue was sharp. You opened up the inside cover, Whitaker Bank. Oh, Gold Star Chili. And you went to the back. I mean, she sold advertising space to print the entire thing. It didn't cost her anything. But see, this was I'm going old school on it prior to HOA websites and all that stuff. And, you know, people wanted, you know, but she literally, when people would move in, whether she sold them or not, she put that little plastic bag in there with the card to fill out, self-addressed, stamped envelope, ready to go. Her assistant would take them in, put them, update the book. She also had coupons from businesses locally that she had relationships with. They, guess what? Also sent her business right here, right here, 40509. When 40509 was like, is that a thing? Are there houses over there yet? Think about it. And it just went from there. So what you're doing, right? Tell them about the service you provide, help set up a conversation for later, serve as a reminder of that interaction. Tell them how to refer business to you. I love that, Renee. I love that grassroots. I love that getting out and knocking on the door. You know, I lived in Still Meadow, and we were still in phase 1 when I built my house. And then pretty much I just walk around, walk job sites, right? And course, I had the new construction listing, which also meant I got what, the resales. And most of the people that were reselling in there, I built their house, right, working for Jimmy. So it's like, same thing, but here's the thing. There's no one out there really doing it at a high level. There's lots of people, Renee, that start that. Roll with it for a couple, 2-3 months, and then they shiny thing.
Well, and I was listening to the early MRA podcast and I didn't realize
You mentioned Scott Maloof for
I
James
need
Roy,
to be
so.
doing it 2 hours a day, so that is my legion.
Yep.
So I've only been doing it like 5 to 6 hours a week, but if I were doing that 2 hours every day for 5 days,
Okay.
then that would meet my legion requirement.
Now, here's what I'm gonna, here's a homework assignment for you. As you're reviewing that time sink piece, right? So absorption rate. People also call it turnover rate. So here's what you're gonna do, you're gonna go into both of those communities. And you're gonna look at how many homes there are in those communities. What's the number for 12 months? Then you're gonna look at last 12 months, how many of them sold? Right, and it's gonna give you a percentage. Like, there's 100 houses, okay? And in the last 12 months, 12 sold. So basically, the turnover rate is 12% roughly, right? Some neighborhoods will have a really high turnover rate. Some will have a really low one. Let's see. Greenbrier. You know Greenbrier?
Yeah.
You do, yeah,
One of the,
low turnover rate,
yeah,
no one leaves.
except they're
Exactly.
dying.
Yeah, that's it, then that's what you're waiting, for. You're literally waiting on people to, or, maybe go live somewhere else, right, go by flat, but anyway, what is it? But hold on, there's the neighborhood, there's some streets over Polo Club. It's all first time home. Or maybe that little move up, but the turn. Your turnover is gonna probably be close to your average. Okay. So while I may have fewer homes turn over in the more expensive neighborhood, it's also might be one of those is 3 of these over here. You know what I mean? So just look at it and track it. You've picked your first 2 based on proximity, what you know. Perfect. Exactly what it do. Your next one that you might pick, you might look at turnover rate, absorption rate, what that looks like. If we're gonna get really strategic with it, but you absolutely start with your neighborhood first, right? And then you've got a reason to speak to those people. My sister lives. Oh my gosh, I've been coming in this neighborhood for the last 12 years. My sister lives in, she's running down the street, still running. Makes it easier to develop trust, build a relationship. So yeah, love that. Yeah, consistency is key. Consistency is key. Do either one of those neighborhoods have a HOA? No HOA? Oh, it's okay. Yeah, reason I say that is you get to a point where you have enough people. Might be an opportunity to mobilize some sort of an event. You have, I used to Still Meadow, I used to, know who Jack Patty is?
I do.
Okay, so Jack Patty, one of the things he did, he was a radio guy here, so 100 years. One of the things he did was he was a Santa. Well, now when I would say he was Santa, real white beard, right, white hair, perfect build, and his costume was I think he told me at one, I think he had about $6,000 that. Yeah, he'd come in when it was really cold. Now we bring him in, Still Meadow, I bring him in on in a sleigh, horse-drawn carriage. And I covered all the costs. And we go to the model home. Kids would do the Santa pictures for bring us stuff like that. And he'd get out of the sleigh and he had like a coat that was like lined with like reindeer fur on top of his Santa. Big Santa. I mean, it was crazy. It was crazy. I sponsored the whole event, did all the promotion, did all the things and things like that. So that's another one you show. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It's in my budget, I wanna put an ice truck.
Ah, there you go.
Truck, but
Yeah, yeah. And here's what you do, you know, you might, you know, again, back to that neighborhood directory, maybe there's someone in the neighborhood that might want to co-sponsor that with you. Whatever that looks like, yeah, yeah, look for vendor help and different things like that you can do. Yeah, that's good, that's really good. You've got so many opportunities. You've got so many opportunities to do so many things. Be brilliant at the basics, nail that. There's a lady. We had her in her sales meeting. Tara would know who it is. Ask them, make a note to email Tara and say, we were talking tonight today and Bo mentioned the lady that is like the queen of farming. Yeah. But she runs a play that's lights up. And it's like, so here's why she does it. She's not super social, right? But she's high analytical. So she's built this system, right? And it's automated, and again, she makes the calls, she does all the things, but it's like she has like a death grip around these communities. No agents that when school starts back, they go out, they set up a little table in the front of the community where you can get that one stop sign, everybody has to stop it. And if they get some folks to help them, some volunteers, maybe some kids or something else like that, and they hand out coffee and donuts. As everybody's standing there, waiting to get turned on the road and stuff.
Your yard sale sounds good.
yeah,
Yeah, there's all kinds of things, lots of things that you can do, have those open houses. You know, get does either community have like their own Facebook page? No. Do you think they want one?
thought about it, but I don't know that I wanna handle all the angry people.
Oh,
I've
what?
thought about making one, but I don't know if I wanna handle all the angry people.
That's because when you said, you know,
That's a
Bo, I'm really
lot.
thinking about that. I
That's a
was,
lot of time.
yeah, I was that was gonna be the next thing when you said, you know, Bo, I'm working on it right now. Well, here's something to consider. Yeah, so it's a lot, right? It's a lot. Take you know, build those relationships. If there's points of leverage, you know, that you can do things and stuff, but it starts the way it starts. You know, talk to as many people, you know, obviously when spring comes, you'll have a better, you'll have more of an opportunity.
Wow. And people are out when they're not home.
Oh, yeah, sure,
So
yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. You know, and you'll figure out the right days for it and everything else like that. So, yeah, I love that. Yeah, there's that direct, you know, the direct contacts and the direct things and stuff like that. I get it. And it really is important. And it is critical. And yet there are some things you can do to supplement, you know, that neighborhood nurture. Twice a month, hyper local, but see if you're speaking to someone about that. And you're really talking to them. And you tell them that it's just for you, it's just for my clients. But see, everything you guys build and send out, it's a KW tool, right? It's your tool. You need to have these conversations around, this is something I do for my clients. And not everybody does, not every KW uses. What I'm telling you is, you know, I've got a tool that I use here with all my wonderful clients and people that I know in Autumn Ridge. That'll give you hyper local information. I think you find that valuable. I know I get so many people calling, talking about that information, because here's the thing, they see it, whether they read it or not. Here's what they see: Bo, real estate agent, twice a month, like clockwork. I don't have to do anything. And if they decide to dig in deep, you know, great. Because guess who delivered that value? Me, right? All right. So in Bo, we talk about our daily success system. We're building a muscle. we're building a muscle team, and there's this is a. Well, they call it the success system, and probably nothing could be farther from the truth. Here's our goal, right? Every day, 10 conversations. 10 conversations with people, care call, value call, could be just coming from contribution, change, but whatever it is, 10 conversations. Your mention of real estate is gonna be at the end where you say, you know what, it was great catching up with you, Sally, and tell Phil I said hello. And we have to make friends with family. Just wanna make a real estate decision this year, I'd love to work with. Oh, gosh, but we'll call you, sure. Take care, stay warm. And move on, right? Each of those 10 people that I speak with now get added to my database. I put them in my database, complete information, right? That METS database script is a great way to get anything that you're missing, right? And then I send each of them a handwritten note. GP,
It's our.
oh, yeah,
When I go back the next month,
yeah,
they're like. Cannot believe that. I took the time to write it.
yeah. It's here's what I'll tell you, time block that. That's not a 9 to 5er. That's a follow-up. Yeah, that's probably maybe something you sit and do. I like doing it the same day because I remember things, right? I wait a day and I'll be like,
It
did I even talk to this person?
Yeah.
Right, no, but what you do is, in the evening. Open house, when you guys start having open houses, everybody you need at the open house gets one, and you write those while you're at the open house. And you seal them up and put a stamp on them, and on your way home. Yep,
Okay. Is there Keller Williams note cards that you use, or do you use just your note cards with your?
No, I was just.
Use your okay, that's been a question I've had is, what do you follow up with?
Very. Anywhere to find it cheap, I just keep.
Is that what you do?
Try to keep there.
yeah,
And
Michael's,
they're pretty ones.
Michael's, what's the art joint over here? Sometimes there's a,
Michael's is.
Michael's?
Cheapest.
yeah, Michael's. Here's what you're,
Oh, my goal is to spend as close as it is expensive.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is.
yeah, the post to be close to the cost of the car.
Yes.
I mean,
Postage is-
get a 50-cent card, postage is what, 74 cents, 70 cents?
Sit up and, you can get forever stamps, and they
My
never
goal is
expire.
$1.
There you go.
$1 per card.
So here's what I like. Here's what I've always used, and I always recommend the blank card, it says thank you on the outside,
Yes, okay, that's what I was wondering. is-
and you put the card in there, right, that's the deliverable, I got my card, there's my picture, there's my note. Open house, you wanna get, if you wanna do something, maybe. As the budget matures and things like that, if you want to go something that's a little more customized or whatever. I know agents that send out 40, 50 a week, right, easily. They still just use the blank thank you, because they can always go by and they do what you.
Yeah.
It's like the,
Yes.
go to the register.
I
and
have a
hold-
lot of them on Amazon, but Michael's.
Michael's
Yeah.
is cheapest, okay.
Yeah. And let me tell you, the key to that is done is better than perfect. Would it be cool to have a super cool car that was embossed and everything else like that? Would that be, yes, would it be impressive? Oh my goodness, yes. And yet, our struggle isn't the right card to send, it's taking the time to write the card on something. Yeah,
Aw,
love that.
well, thanks, I don't know.
So let's think about what we've done here, right? We talked to 10 people. Checked in, how you doing, followed up, how's it going, right? Of each of those people that we talked to, we put them in our database for future follow-up. Today, we talked about the 36 touch. That's why we put them in our database. So we can do something with them beyond, right? Let's get some automated stuff in there. And then the same 10 people, I write them a handwritten note. Great catching up today. That's the other thing I like about the small note. You don't write too much,
Right,
right? Love hearing your voice today. Stay warm. Let me know if you need anything. What, right? So that's our success system. 10 conversations, those 10 go in my database, and then I send 10 handwritten notes. 10-5-1 social media engagement. That's going to basically be each 10 conversations to your sphere. Well, a 10-5-1 model for social media engagement. Try to get this exactly right.
10
That's,
likes.
yeah, 10 likes. Yeah, good.
Yeah.
10 likes, 5 comments, and 1 share.
DM or share.
Yeah, so yeah, one, yeah, so a direct message. You know, and here's the thing. There's gonna be people who try to call, right? To have a conversation, you're not gonna be able to, but you can DM. There's gonna be people that, you know, are not going to talk to you on the phone, but are gonna text you like. You know, like your best of pals, it's okay, engage at that level, it's still engaging. Right? Cause I promise you this, when that person that texts you all the time, ready to make some sort of a buying decision and they need something, they will call. And you will get that appointment. We've got to be top of mind so that when anything comes up, we're the ones that get the call. All right. Enrichments basically being just enrichments to what you guys are doing, what you guys are working on. Telephone Consumer Protection Act, okay? You need to be able to call the people that you're calling, that you know, right? That we're calling most of the people we know, so there shouldn't be any issues here. You're gonna start using a dialer. Where you dial, it dials for you and it dials 12 numbers at the same time and all that kind of stuff like that. You're gonna start going that direction. You're gonna start going with some sort of a FISBO program. You just need to make sure they're not on the do not call list. Where do you get the do not call list? It's basically something you can get from the Secretary of State. Published. You guys are mostly reaching out to people that you know. You're asking for permission, okay? You stay in that vein, you're gonna start becoming like a really like a hardcore cold caller, something like that, right? The specific niche, then we're going to, there's some tools out there, resources and subscription services.
That's walked us through every step on how to do it.
There you go.
So she knows.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, our productivity coach, Beth, good, you know, and here's the thing, it's nothing to be afraid of, right? Here's the best part about that whole thing right there. Some agents will not do it because they will not take the time to learn how to do it correctly. Some agents won't do it because they're just afraid that they're gonna do something wrong. Some agents use this as a reason not to call people they know. If someone is giving you their phone number, that's permission to call. Right?
That was a question I had, and
Yeah.
like that or not,
Yeah,
that could be permission.
sure. Yeah, if you've got their now, if you bought a bunch of phone numbers off the black web or the dark web or whatever, and something crazy like that, that would be something, but at the same time, it's different, right? I manage every conversation in the spirit of contribution, and people are happy to be in relationship with me. Take your phone out and take a picture of that. I'm gonna ask you to make that your screensaver on your phone. If you've got my picture up as your screensaver, it's okay. It won't hurt my feelings to take it down. No, guys, it's a little affirmation. Here's what I know. You do amazing things for so many people. We help people at a really high level. You ever feel hesitation or you're wondering or thinking, is this what I should do? Or, you know, or you get a little anxiety or anything else like that. Here's the thing. Just come from contribution. Here's what that looks like. Hey, Sally, how's everything going? You guys doing okay in the cold? Is there anything that you need? Right? And be prepared, right? Be prepared for that. And then bring value. Relationships are built around bringing value. Ancillary things, again, kind of contribution, candor, care, I mean, all those different things like that. So when you guys do those things, you know, there shouldn't be any reason why, you know, we stay in a place where we feel hesitant to share with people what we do. Because if you've ever talked to anybody that had a bad experience with a real estate agent, they desperately wish they would have had a different agent or would have gone differently or something like that. That happens very seldom. we have a great system as an industry, the system's kind of built, right? But you want to be that agent that disappears and creates a client for life. Questions, what do you guys, any questions now, for the, as we wrap up here?
Well, I kind of have one.
Okay,
I don't.
just
have
one?
I do have.
Okay,
This is I'd like your opinion.
Okay.
Or Renee's, whatever, you won't jump in here. I have not a huge database, but a good sized database of people I've known in different cities.
Yep.
In Kentucky, and I've lost contact with them, and I've changed my number, my address,
Yeah.
my email, everything.
right,
What about if I sent them a postcard updating all my, saying, hello, I'm here, and then start my leads calling them? Or should I do it that off? What, how should?
my recommendation would be to make a spreadsheet, name, address, phone number, and email, okay, and birthday. Right, and I would get those people and I would call every one, and I
Okay,
would tell them. And I'd leave them a voicemail if they didn't know my number, right? And I would let them know, I've moved, got a new number, got a new address. And actually, while I've got you on the phone, I'd like to make sure I have all your most recent information.
that's good.
Any address, phone, and you get that information, say, awesome. Well, listen, I'm, along with a new address, phone number and all that kind of stuff, I've actually, started a new career in real estate. And, my company Keller Williams is, global. So I can help you with, real estate, even there in Montana.
Okay,
That'd be great. And you can, you're partnered now, both of you are now part of the largest referral network on the planet. We have offices in Vietnam, Indonesia, China, everywhere. So,
good,
yeah.
good point.
Yeah.
Good point, 'cause I need to start as cheap as possible.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then what you do, you call these people and you update them, right? And then you put them in your phone and you send your contact card. With all your info, all your stuff. Doesn't know if they save it in their phone, now gotcha, right? You could, and then after we have that conversation and it goes wonderfully, and it will. Then you can send them a nice thank you note
man.
with your business card. Yeah, it has all your information, whatever. Maybe you do a little, maybe you send the envelope. Like envelope with a nice note, and maybe there's your cards in there, maybe a small piece of paper, with your own address, if they're.
I wanna get one.
Okay, exactly. If they're, well, some people do some, you know what I mean, so you do that.
I know what you mean.
But, and maybe,
My database.
maybe you don't do it, and maybe you don't give any of them your home address, maybe you just simply put your business card in there and. Pull all that and make it look nice and official, thank them for the time, looking forward to staying in touch, how can I help you? And then, see, I see all of that stuff as anybody can do.
Mhm.
Anybody that can walk around can do that. So, so while it's, and sometimes I think we look at, well, anybody can do it. So it must not be that important. No, it's the basics, and it's super, super important, but we overlook it because we're thinking, really, Bo, Henry, no, this world of instant everything. I'm gonna send someone something in the mail. Yeah. And it'll sit on their counter for a week. And they'll move it. Then they'll eventually bring themselves to throwing away the envelope. Maybe it's just me, but it'll sit there. It'll be up there, it's a label. There you go. Think about the last time someone you know sent you a heartfelt note that wasn't condolences or something like that, that just simply checked in on you or thanked you for a conversation. I can tell you this, it's a big deal.
Yeah, I've
It's a
never got
big
one.
deal. Yeah, well, it's just,
I've never got one.
yeah, yeah, and maybe something for those people that you know, maybe it's a note to reach out to let them know your new address and all your new contact information, and then give a little heads up that I'll be calling you in the next week or so, just to check in.
Sure. Okay.
I mean, flip it up a little bit. I mean, if you don't want to, you don't want to come out of the gate or whatever, you just, but here's the thing. You know, we don't just do those things when we think about it. you time block.
every day.
Yeah, or for that notes and stuff like that, I think you sit down, maybe twice a week. You know, twice a week and, you know, send those things out. Unless it's like an open house or something, I always like to do those. As I was leaving the open house going home, because it was done, it was Monday morning, the open house on Sunday, Monday morning, I just would not have time. Right, or send them out every, depending on how many people you're talking to, maybe send them out every day. You might get energy from going to the mailbox every day, or going to the outgoing mail and other cards, and the goal is to have 4 or 5 cards go out every day. Technically, our goal is to have 10 conversations, right? We have 10 conversations a day, Monday through Friday. That's 50, so that'd be 50 handwritten notes. Right?
Yes.
Now that's 2 touches. Right? You think if you caught them and if you called them, talked to them, had a nice chat, updated the information, 2 days later, actually, a week and a half later with the snow, no, I'm kidding. But anyways, 3, 4, 5 days later, they get this other thing and it's from you and it's so nice. That's wonderful. And then 3 days after that, they bump into somebody that says, oh, it's so frustrating. We want to get our house ready to sell in the spring. And just tough on this way. Just sell your house in the spring? Oh my gosh, you call Bozeman. Have you guys had dates yet? Oh, okay, well, you need to talk to her. You talk about and everything else like that. I'm telling you, call you. And the reason she said they're gonna say it all the time to call you, is all my people know, don't bring me, I don't want you to get out my. I want there. I'm not gonna burden you. Last thing you need, as busy as you are, is to be chasing me down, right? To, just, I'll call them, I'll take care of it, and away you go.
All right, team. Well, by golly,
Keep every lead.
Yes.
When you say people, folks, your database. Every lead goes to the database and every one of them gets a follow-up program. Some leads you may follow up with, once a year. They might get a call once a year to put them on a drip campaign and that's it, you know? Cause you're gonna have now buyers that need a house in the next 30 to 60 days. You're gonna have people that are 6 months away. A year away.
Something said you on my little flyer that I leave on their door, I put a QR code with the drawing every month. And then it just automatically goes in. Does that make sense? In order for them to enter, they have to give me all of their. Ooh. Right? Yeah.
How about that? Yeah.
It's really smart.
Huh?
No, she is.
Yeah, she's a baller.
Listen to MREA.
Yeah.
Every day.
I spent the afternoon yesterday
All the podcasts.
and listened to the podcast that I did.
Do it.
That's where you got the 51st days, right, from Scott Maloof? Yeah.
Over and over.
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't taken the real estate exam yet.
okay.
I'm gathering,
Yeah.
planning and gathering.
Well, get on that, make sure you get on that,
I was planning to do it in my neighborhood and my sister's neighborhood, and my brother-in-law mows most of the lawns
Oh,
in
there
that
you go.
sister's neighborhood.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about that as you all were talking, I thought, wow, I hadn't thought about that before, but that's a real end.
all right, everybody. So we're coming off Zoom. We're wrapping things up. See you tomorrow. I can't remember what class is tomorrow, but I think it's lead follow-up. Today was keep every lead. Tomorrow will be lead follow-up.